Welcome back, everyone. Continuing our conversation with University of Toledo legend Chuck Ely, who's been gracious enough to take time out. His weekend, one of his weekends, he comes into town, UT BG weekend, takes in the game, sees some friends, and taking time to talk with us this morning on Conklin and Company. So 7 years in the Canadian Football League, Chuck.
Right.
Highly successful.
Yeah.
They don't call them the Pro Bowl up there. What
the Grey Cup.
Yeah, well, you win the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
And you have success with, was it Hamilton first?
Hamilton,
but ending it in Toronto.
In Toronto, yeah.
With the Argonauts.
Yeah.
And then so you retire there.
Yeah.
And you make your life there.
Yeah.
Tell us about your personal life and professional life, what you're up to right now.
Okay. Well, very quickly after we retired, I'd already started my family and my son. I have a son, Damon, and two daughters, Sky and JL. And JL, you'll hear a little more about in a minute. But I went into work primarily in business right now with the Investors Group, which is a financial planning company. And I did work a little bit with John Deere while I was there but right after that I went to work for this financial planning company, and now I'm a regional director in charge of the office and working in that area. And it's been just a tremendous blessing and opportunity to be able to live there and do the things I've been able to do and accomplish the things I wanted to accomplish. And I feel very good about what has happened in my life with my kids and my grandkids. I got 6 grandsons, and so things have been well.
And everybody converging this weekend.
Yes. My daughter, who has written a book, JL, she's coming here with my son, who now lives in Japan. He's here for the summer, and he's heading back next week. And he went to University of Toledo as well. So we're down because we're doing a little book launch tomorrow at Barnes & Noble at the UT bookstore.
Right, at the Gateway Project, Door and Secor.
Yeah.
Beautiful there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice operation. So just to let people know about the book and that type of thing, and move on from there.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because you have a copy of the book right here.
Oh, okay.
It is The Stone Thrower. It is which camera, Jonathan? We want to go. Let's go at 2. Okay, let's do that if we can. It's called The Stone Thrower, and it is about a father and a daughter growing up with a famous father.
Well, it's kind of a unique thing because she's a Canadian American, who was born in Canada, but really never knew a backdrop of my history. Because I really never talked about it. Do
you know who your dad was?
No, but she would come here to University of Toledo or somewhere, and people started asking me for autographs. She goes, "What is that all about, Dad?" And so then she now looked back at the things that she was going through and uses that as to find out more about me and the history of me living in Portsmouth and going to University of Toledo and spreading the word and what has happened in her life. And the word stone thrower, you know what that's for, don't you? When I was a kid, the way I learned how to play quarterback, I used to throw rocks at a moving train as it went down the track. So I learned how to time out receivers because nobody to throw. And so I did end up telling her that story, and that's how she came up with the title.
And the testimonials here from Christine Brennan, one of Toledo's own, an enormous Toledo Rocket fan in her own right. And it is a daughter's lessons, a father's life about Chuck Ely. So the stone thrower in this picture, Jonathan, again, I'm going to go to camera 2 here. This picture, I think, is indelible, really, in the minds of so many Toledo Rocket fans who have seen that throw there, Chuck. So you're practicing, you stone throw against the trains, right?
Yeah.
How fast does the train go in comparison to some of the wide receivers you had to throw to?
Well, you know what? It comes through the town very slow because they have to go slow. Then it picks up speed, so you got all.
You got to adjust. You got to make adjustments, right?
Yeah. You got all the variations that we're going on.
Oh, and what was your thought on her book? She finished this.
I thought it was good. I mean, I thought she's a very good writer. She's an actor. She acts, and she went to drama and all the whole things. And she's teaching professor writing in university. So she's a very good writer. Her perception of what the way I was something I was learning more too, what she had gone through, because a lot of the diversity that's in the community would say, well, where are you from? She said, I'm from Canada, and then she found out about the American history portion too with me, because being born in Canada and raised in Canada, there was not some of the things that I never went back to Portsmouth a great deal. But when I did, she was small. So when we went back, she learned a great deal about me and the history of where we came from, and the things that she was struggling with and dealing with her life became part of the story of looking at civil rights and the whole 9 yards.
What was Toledo, Ohio like in 1971?
Tough.
To be an African-American quarterback on a very successful football team, though.
Yeah, it was a very successful football team, but it was very different. We were in the middle of the civil rights movement, the Black Power movement, you know, all kind of social movements, and we had kids from Detroit, from Cleveland, from Los Angeles, from the farm fields of Napoleon and around in the community, and so this clash that came in, it was one of those things that we finally put things together with our freshman group that ended up being the seniors, and probably are the best of friends and lived through some circumstances just because of football and the way things worked out.
Did you realize the history you were making at that time?
Absolutely not.
There'd never be another team to come down the pike to do what you did.
No. I mean, I remember the last game that we were going into before we played the playoffs, and I said to Steve Banks, I said, you know, I don't think we understand what we've done here. And, you know, sort of realized we just kind of flew through this, and all of a sudden, you know, our careers were over at this point, and we recognized and we look back and say, you know, we won 33 games at the time, and we had 2 more to go, and instead of saying, oh, you know, this could be something. And many years later, the history comes out with what has transpired.
I urge everybody to go online and look for a Sports Illustrated article. It says, "Holy Toledo, they almost lost one." And so there were a number of close calls, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. There was a number of games that were very close. Could have gone either way. Either a defense saved us or we saved the defense occasionally, because they were a very strong defense, ranked in the country #1 on several years, if not all 3. So it was a very tough time at times when we had some tough games that were very close. And we still got through it.
Is there one game in particular, Chuck, that you think back, that will always come to mind first? Is there a game that comes to mind first for you?
I think unfortunately, the Bowling Green game. I think that was a game where we had just beaten OU the week before, which was supposed to be the power team, but Bowling Green, with the rivalry, came down, and we had to march down against the wind, and with about 50 seconds to kick the field goal by Ken Krotz. That just sort of gave it kind of like my team, because I was a sophomore taking over a bunch of seniors and juniors in that position, and then that was where we took off.
Well, it's interesting you bring up Bowling Green. Bowling Green weekend. We're not exactly sure what happened last night, but I bet you it was a good game.
I'm sure it was. It was Bowling Green in Toledo.
You bet.
It's going to be something.
Chuck Ely, a pleasure.
And
our honor to have you on the program.
Yeah.
Have yourself a great rest of the weekend with your family.
Okay. Pleasure.
Come back in just a minute. Economic development, big time, coming up this coming weekend, right after this.